Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
This week we're talking about Seeing Red, because it was a happy episode full of nothing horrible.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to get this out of the way. I hate this episode.
Duly noted.
Fair.
Like, I really fucking hate this episode.
Because there's, a very, very, very uncomfortable scene. If that scene wasn't there,
Okay, so we'll get into it, but I don't hate because they're doing that. Well, okay, I kind of do. But I hate because of what it leads to.
Is it like a future episode of sorts?
It's just... Well, we'll get into it in a minute.
Yeah, get into it. Let's get into the synopsis on this.
Alrighty, so this episode originally aired May 7th, 2002. It was the only episode to ever be delayed airing on YTV. They pushed it back by an hour.
Only.
Well, yeah, because it normally aired at like 8 and this aired at 9.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because they're like, well, we probably don't want 10-year-olds to watch this.
Maybe.
This episode attracted 4.1 million viewers. Yeah.
Still an important episode in a way.
It is, but it's a... I really hate it. Okay, so the episode opens with Tara and Willow in bed after the reconciliation, and it's clear that we're no longer on the WB because, well, I mean, it's a lot more explicit than the WB would have allowed.
Oh look, there's
It's not like super explicit, but...
Oh look, there are clothes on the floor. Oh look, it's them in bed. Oh look, just the covers. Hokey do.
Yeah, it...
Mm-hmm.
I quite like the scene. I think it's really good.
It's the happy little yay they got together.
Yeah, it's that
Hooray.
moment of happiness before everything in this episode is going to punch you in the soul.
Oh no, it builds up to that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the trio steal the orb of whatever the fuck, which will grant their owner strength and invulnerability, which Warren ends up getting because Warren's a bastard.
Yeah,
he's kind of the head of the group, and
don't worry, I'll share.
Yeah.
You'll get your turn.
Okay, so... Fuck, I hate this. So Spike attempts to sexually assault Buffy, who fights him off, and Spike leaves Sunnydale because he's horrified of his actions. He's going to Africa.
Yeah.
That's pretty far.
Did I mention I really hate this?
Little bit. It hasn't gone into too much explanation, but yeah, it's understandable with most things that went on.
Buffy confronts the trio mid-robbery and renders Warren powerless by smashing his orb. Warren escapes, leaving Andrew and Jonathan behind to face the police. Warren returns the next day with a gun. He shoots Buffy, and a stray bullet goes into the upstairs window that kills Tara. Xander frantically tries to stop Buffy's bleeding while Tara lies dead in Willow's arms. Willow's face is contorted by pain and shock, blood splattered all over her, and her eyes glow deep red with fury. So this is going to lead to happy times.
Happy times with Willow. Going on a big murder spree.
Yep, she's not going to flail anyone. Don't worry, next episode you get to see somebody flayed. That's not a joke, that actually happens.
I would not be surprised, but it's just kind of case of because on the one hand, with things with Willow, when it kind of got bad the first time, it was, she got into the dark magics and whatnot, black eyes and whatnot. This was the switch into the black eyes to the red. It's like, oh no, all this bad stuff's gonna go down now.
Yeah, she's going to go full on what they call Dark Willow.
And she's basically going, fuck it.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is, 1 year ago, roughly, what happened? Think back to near the end of Season 5.
There was that thing where they had to do that seance, wasn't it? The
What?
case? Or they had to bring the first the first Slayer into Buffy's body? Was that the case?
No, that was like season 4, I think.
Oh, okay.
No.
What was season 5, Glory?
Season 5 was Glory.
Oh, so
A year ago is when Tara got her mind wiped or screwed with, and then Willow went all pissed again.
Yeah.
It's almost a year to the date.
Timing. Ugh.
Also, later when we see Tara's grave, her date of death will be May 7th, 2002, which is when the episode aired. Which is a nice little touch.
Okay.
So, let's talk about this episode that I really hate.
So, okay. The one thing with the trio's dynamic of things, with Warren being essentially the big bad of the group, and just, the fact that you just wanted to see him have his face kicked in, which in the end it finally was, but just everything that happened with him is just like, I really hope he supposedly pays for this. And then...
Yeah, and the other two are basically the underlings.
To an extent.
Warren.
One's kind of the right-hand underling man to it, and...
Jonathan's at the bottom.
And Jonathan...
Yeah, Jonathan's not that bad.
He has some sense like, oh dear, all this stuff is going horribly wrong and stuff's gonna blow up in her face. He's the one that goes back and tells Buffy how to defeat Warren. But as it all sort of sits with it, it's just left up in the air if it's just gonna be them stuck in prison or with how Willow is.
I'm looking at a future title saying 2 left, and I'm like...
2 to go.
2 to go. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because what's the next episode called? 1 down, or...?
No, the next episode will be, oh crap, what's it called?
I believe it was Villains.
Villains, 1 down, 2 to go?
It's Villains, and then 2 to go.
Oh, no! It was... Okay, never mind.
And then I forget what the last one's called. I think it's called, like, something really fucking depressing. What's the last episode? Come on, load faster. Grave. Grave is the last episode of the season.
Oh, perfect.
Grave.
Oh, perfect.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Last season had, Wish, or not Wish, your, Gift.
Yeah, the gift.
The Gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was code for somebody gonna die.
Yeah. Your gift is death.
Yeah.
So, speaking on behalf of things with Buffy, all those sort of particular things. So firstly, with her having to go through and try to patch things up somewhat with Xander, it went the typical sort of way, but still hard to see. Happy to see some things resolved until afterwards. But then that scene with Spike. Ugh.
Okay. I'm going to get into why I really hate this. And it's going to spoil a little bit of stuff coming up, but I don't think it's nothing too terribly important. Wow. Here's why I really hate this. Is because if this was used as a way to make Spike, like, an ultimate villain, I would still dislike it, just because I don't think using that as a plot point is ever a good idea. But at least if he was a villain coming out of it, you could at least have Buffy get, like, retribution. This is going to be used to make Spike try to get his soul back and become a good guy.
That's an odd way to do it.
Yeah, it's a really, really terrible way to handle it.
By having Spike commit rape.
Well, he attempted.
Attempt rape, at least.
Yeah. Which I really hate that they're using it as a plot point to try to turn him babyface.
It's somewhat understandable just with how Spike's character has been portrayed in the last while within this series. Honestly, from what you were saying, it probably would have been a bit of a better angle where he finally did understand with that and went a bit more to a villain thing, though.
Or, so I understand that, like, because Spike is really popular, they want to keep him on the show, and they want to make him a good guy, because he's still technically a villain. All you have to do is, like, when Buffy finally dumps him, have Spike go, okay, well, she doesn't hate Angel. Why doesn't she hate Angel? Well, Angel has a soul. Well, how do I get my soul back so I can be with Buffy? I fixed the whole problem there.
Yeah.
It's maybe not as dramatic, but it's less fucking disgusting.
Yeah, true. Then I suppose it would have to be cases of working a bit more within his character, but
It would
even
work,
then,
though, for Spike. Because Spike is very motivated by, like, what he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Again, I think it might have been a bit of a case of possibly some issues with trying to write it in certain sort of cases, like, oh, we need to have Spike in this sort of case of he's dumped but still wants to have Buffy, and they took the easier route instead of taking the more sensible route.
So the other thing I have with this is, like, I understand that this is a show that targets a certain demographic. Like, it primarily is young adult, teen kind of demographic, and bringing up the subject matter might not be the worst idea. I just hate the way it's handled. Because Spike's gonna be a good guy. He can't be a good guy after this.
Yeah.
He has to be a villain. But they're gonna make him a good guy.
Yeah,
And I really hate that.
It's a tricky point if they're trying to use it with this sort of particular thing, because it is such a touchy subject with this sort of thing. As soon as you get into that point, everything just kind of falls into the muck, and it's gonna be fairly hard to come out of it clean.
Yeah, I understand that, like, okay, considering that our target audience, this might not be the worst subject matter that we might want to deal with this, because it is something that happens, but fucking you can't make the guy a good guy after. You just...
It is difficult.
You can't make Ted Bundy a babyface. I really hate it. Anyway. What else did we want to talk about in this episode? Oh, yes. So, you'll notice there is a little difference in the opening credits. Amber Benson was entered in, who plays Tara, and she dies this episode. Which I love, because the minute somebody like that is in the opening credits, the audience is going to be like, oh, well, they're safe.
Well, everything's going to be fine now.
Yeah, because, no show would put an actor who's been on the show for, a year and a half or whatever, or more maybe, and be like, oh, well, they got promoted to being a cast member. They're not going to kill them off anytime soon. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they just do this randomly kind of mid-late season. So, well, it's not really mid-late, it's just late season.
Yeah. And it would be like, oh, she got a promotion, she's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot more of Willow and Tara, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be good times.
It is, because they're really good together.
They really are. Did you see how Dawn was so excited with it?
So good.
It was so cute and pure.
It's like, I promise I'll go down to the basement and then turn the TV up really loud. I'm like, Dawn, you're the best.
Everything changed when Warren got a gun.
Yeah.
Understandable, but just...
So, Warren shoots Buffy and inadvertently kills Tara, which I think kind of makes it even worse.
Oh, and just how it happened. I now understand that line.
Yep. And you're going to understand another line next week. Or now. Yeah. Alrighty, did either of you have anything else you want to talk about this week?
Yeah, we'll see the next episode.
See how this dumpster fire decides to go.
So next week we'll be talking about the episode Villains. Mwahaha. Willow's gonna get pissed off and flay a bitch.
Duly noted.
I mean, that's the description. That's all you need to know. Willow angry, Willow flay a bitch.
Duly noted.
You're actually gonna see a dude's skin come off.
Joy.
Yep. Super good times. Alrighty, so until next week, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.